It's been 3 weeks, but we'll never forget.
Still not over it.
Still not over it.
और एक हो जाए निको अभी जीत जाए सीधे रेस.
At least ये season के पहले at least 2 more. And we're not satisfied.
अभी let's be honest.
उंगली दिया तो हाथ नहीं पकड़ना.
हाँ, exactly.
But yeah.
Our favorite YouTuber has uploaded. देखते. Let's see what he says about Nico
Yep.
and his great achievements throughout the years.
Let's go.
Nico Hülkenberg is without question one of the best drivers to ever race in Formula One. But not because of his championship titles, race wins, pole positions, or record-breaking spins and collisions. Instead, Nico shines through pain and suffering. You see, Hülkenberg has been an underdog throughout his whole career. You could put him up against an excavator, and no one would expect him to win. But not because he isn't skilled. Heck, the man is one of the fastest drivers on the grid. Instead, it's because he drives shit boxes or the forces of
Aston Martin में कभी था?
Reserve driver था.
Okay. कौन से ईयर में?
अब भी हाथ से पहले.
Oh.
23 तक था.
Gotcha.
evil and darkness magically rips his car into pieces. But how he always perseveres through any disadvantage makes Hulkenberg the Incredible Hulk.
Hulk. Finished P5 with a tractor.
And this becomes even more special when you realize that Nico's been pushing through struggles ever since he started his F1 career. In his debut with Williams in 2010, the team was broke and mediocre. But in his third ever race, he outqualifies his experienced teammate and scores points. And in Brazil, he puts in a phenomenal lap in qualifying.
One thing I have to say.
Teammate and scored.
इसमें ज़्यादा older लग रहा है वो. Then at the moment जब जो निको दिखता है.
I know, man. It's like reverse age कर रहा हूँ.
I know.
Points. And in Brazil, he puts in a phenomenal lap in qualifying and gets pole position.
But Hulkenberg doesn't look at the time. Look at that, it's almost a second quicker.
What?
Nico Hulkenberg.
Though in the race, Williams was slow, so he finished 8th. But that was still a...
तेरे को पता था ये?
नहीं. That's crazy.
That's yeah.
और वो भी 1 second difference is crazy.
What?
तो वेटेल और उसमें 1 second का गैप है.
Holy. What?
ऐसा लग रहा है काटा हुआ है लिटरली हेड स्टार्ट दिया है कुछ तो.
कुछ तो होगा यार. I think कुछ तो होगा like
कुछ ऐसा टायर स्ट्रैटेजी इसी इन लोग का डिफरेंस रहेगा.
हाँ. Not like I'm just like मैं डाउट कर रहा हूँ because of the difference between
हाँ.
him and Vettel.
एंड ऑल्सो बिकॉज जैसे उसने बोला रेस पेस था ही नहीं उनका और इतना डिफरेंस आया 1 सेकंड का तो दैट जस्ट मींस कुछ तो बाकी लोग ने टैक्टिकली फक अप किया होगा या फिर कुछ.
Yeah, और I think इसने first डाल दिया है. Even though he got pole, I think others got closer after.
Maybe.
After this, maybe.
Nico Hulkenberg.
Though in the race, Williams was slow, so he finished 8th. But that was seen as a rising star. So you could just imagine how I reacted when I found out that he didn't even secure a seat in 2011. And the worst part is, of all people in God's green earth, he lost it to Pastor Maldonado. AKA Jack the Ripper with a car, due to sponsorship money as well. This was more than just a robbery. We witnessed a heist. But thankfully, Nico came back to F1 in 2012. And despite some unlucky career decisions, he continued to cook.
Someone cooked here.
In Belgium, he finished 4th. Monza 2013 qualified his midfield Sauber in P3. And in Korea, back in an era where F1 intros used to look like this.
What?
Nico strongly finished 4th and even fought
स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम PS2 लग रहा था.
I know.
Mercedes. And in Japan, Austin, Brazil, he continues to get solid results and pulled off overtakes more beautiful than a date with Charles Leclerc.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. And in 2014, he finished 5th 4 times. And in 2015, while having an F1 seat, he went and won Le Mans. Nico did everything, and his drives were phenomenal. And that makes me even more pissed that he could have lost all that to Pastor the Molester Maldonado. But one thing stuck out throughout Nico's F1 journey. No matter how good his performances were, he never managed a podium. And this is where everyone realized that he had a curse. The most painful example, Brazil 2012, a race that Nico could have won, but he crashed trying to overtake Lewis, something he still regrets even to this day.
Brazil 2012, that is, one I'm going back to often. Should have been a bit more patient.
But then came in races like Singapore 2017. After there was a public purge on lap 1, Nico was running third, but he had to retire thanks to Renault's amazing reliability, aka the car exploded after 5 laps.
Oh, here's our bus to the airport.
Then onward to Abu Dhabi 2018, Nico wasn't competing for a podium, but he got a little kiss from Grosjean, which then made his car barrel roll until it was upside down and on fire. But then came 2019 where he finally gets paired with Daniel Ricciardo, which gave birth to... But despite Nico's jolly teammates, 2019 was depressing. In Nico's home race, he looked like he was going to finally get his podium, but he lost the car and kissed the barriers. And let me tell you, that race mortified everyone. It was Nico's few chances that season, and a podium in Germany would have been perfect, but that day never came. Even just thinking about it gives me nightmares.
Hey Nico, tough day out there, it looked like it. How would you sum it up?
And if Nico wasn't going through enough shit already, not even a month later, Renault announced that they were going to be replacing him with Esteban Ocon. I swear the French continue to disappoint. This is like beating up a dead horse. But well, at least it wasn't Aston Martin. Esteban is still a track killer, though. You just replaced Jack the Ripper with Freddy Krueger. The point is, Nico has been blue balled. Anytime he comes close to getting a podium, his hopes and dreams just burst into nothing. And so far, that was it for his F1 career. A great start in 2010, but it just gets gradually worse and worse until he was fired in 2019. However, Nico still found a way to race in F1 and perform like he was on crack, because in 2020 he was still a reserve driver for Racing Point, and in Silverstone he jumps in the car on short notice, proceeds to qualify third, and finishes the race 7th. Then in the Eiffel Grand Prix, Nico was called in 4 hours before qualifying, unfortunately starts 20th. I mean, no shit. But then lap after lap, he gets a hang of the car and climbs up all the way to P8.
Great job, Nico. Great job. P8. P8.
Well, Troopers.
And this is what makes Nico so great. He can jump in a car after a trip to the Bahamas, then drive it to its limits in just a few laps. His adaptability is phenomenal. This man is the definition of improvise, adapt, overcome, which allows him to put...
रेसिंग पॉइंट जब भी स्ट्रोल होना था तभी गया था क्या निको?
हाँ, मतलब एस्टन रेसिंग पॉइंट बेसिकली एस्टन मार्टिन.
हाँ, उस वही बेसिक. तो और वही साल है क्या जिसमें उनका कार स्ट्रेट अप मर्सिडीज का कॉपी था?
2020 में था. सो हाँ वही साल था. हाँ,
मेक सेंस.
नहीं, एक सेकंड, होल्ड ऑन. डजंट मेक सेंस बिकॉज फिर भी बहुत ये था, लाइक ऐसा नहीं था कि उन लोग लाइक P1 P2 P3 या फिर P4 भी आ रहे थे. फिर भी लाइक
क्योंकि स्ट्रोल भी डाला था ना वो टाइम रेस विनर रेस.
हाँ वो तेरे को लाइक वेट्स में था. बट अगेन लाइक P3 वो सीजन के लिए भी ऐसा नहीं था कि उन लोग मे बी वंस एवरी 4-5 रेसेस में भी, बट ऐसा कुछ ये नहीं था, रेगुलर occurrence नहीं था. हाँ,
midfield cars into places where they shouldn't be. It's like seeing a polar bear in Western Australia. Nico has driven midfield machines his whole career, but no matter what dumpster fire he's given that the rest of the grid would laugh at, his team just responds with,
We have a Hulk.
and Nico just slams competition to the ground.
हैमिल्टन है क्या?
चुप. Damn.
Haas was sensational. He placed his tractor into Q3 over 17 times in 2 years and finished
Hold
second.
on. What if we take Nico and put him in the second Red Bull seat?
It might be a good opportunity.
Yeah, but to be honest, like Nico has had enough shit in his career.
हाँ,
अब मेरे को नहीं चाहिए उसको और.
I'm sure पर Red Bull उसको कंसिडर भी नहीं करेगा. वो I think
क्यों?
क्योंकि उनको फ्यूचर चैंपियन चाहिए more than anything.
फ्यूचर चैंपियन ही है.
हो गया.
हैमिल्टन को ओवरटेक कर रहा है.
But yeah,
Stroll को
it would be
overtake कर
nice. अगर एक सीजन के लिए just points लेने के लिए कोई चाहिए तो for sure. I think Yuki से तो एटलीस्ट बेटर करेगा निको. But then you never know. जब भी वो सीट पे कोई भी बैठता है फिर मालूम पड़ता है.
I mean, I think Daniel outscored him 2019 में. I think maybe तो I don't know. It's very tricky, right? Like some like जैसे लैंडो भी है, like उसको बोलते थे कि बेस्ट मिडफील्डर ever when started competing for championships. इतना not really there.
7th and P6 twice. And of course, his most phenomenal results, along with Kevin Magnussen, Monaco 2024. Now that is consistency. But now enter 2025, a season I'd say is Nico's best, but not because of total points. Instead, it's his comebacks. For example, he started 17th, then finished 7th in Australia, started 16th and finished 5th in Spain,
Crazy.
and started 13th and finished 8th in Canada.
In
This
person.
man is on a generational run, and it's even more impressive when you realize that he did it in a green cucumber that's sponsored by a gambling company. Oh my god. But still, no.
तो बोलो ये एक चीज का इम्प्रेसिव क्या है ये. So last year I think Sauber scored their first points last race में. Yeah, I think Bottas had already scored and then Zhou had scored last race में. And ये सीजन तू देखेगा इन लोग इतना फोकस नहीं कर रहे कार डेवलप करने के लिए. तो ये सब कंसिडर करके तू सोचेगा कि लाइक ये कंसिस्टेंटली पॉइंट्स डाल रहे. इट्स जस्ट लाइक ब्लोज माय माइंड.
But I think mid season उन्होंने upgrades लाया था but ये सीजन में.
बट
yeah, फिर
कितना
भी
ही हो गया
काफी,
यार
yeah.
मतलब.
स्टार्ट ऑफ द सीजन तो लग ही रहा था कि कुछ भी उन लोग नहीं ट्राई कर रहे.
कुछ भी नहीं. स्टार्ट ऑफ द सीजन में नहीं था इसका भी रिजल्ट्स बट फिर भी.
Podium. You know, I'm surprised that after 16 years of podiumless races, Nico has not completely lost his mind. Like, the angriest I've seen him was Germany 2019, and he just sits there. If that was Max Verstappen, he would have started throwing hands with the car, which is why personality is another reason why I'd say Nico is so special and likable. Ever since he joined the sport, Nico's always been a well-spoken, mature, down-to-earth guy, and I think the reason why he's so composed is because he's been through so much shit. I mean, more than 200 races with no podiums, numerous opportunities slipping away. Hulkenberg has gone through hell to the point where starting last doesn't even faze him anymore. And even if his car is a wheelbarrow used to carry cow shit, he still gives it everything. Push, as they say. Whether it's on track or on the toilet, Nico will give 100%. And this is why I love him. His determination and calm demeanor while dragging a Haas into Q3 sends you to heaven. Hot take, a Hulkenberg P4 is better than a McLaren 1-2. But still, I'm always frustrated for Nico's.
ये मुझे पता नहीं अभी बात करना चाहिए बट would you rather be a driver, would you rather have a first podium with a very dominant car या फिर ऐसा कोई first podium जो बहुत साल के बाद आया और
Obviously, if I'm a driver, I don't want to wait 15 years for a
I know.
podium.
I know.
क्योंकि like Lance Stroll, Ocon, like Gasly, इन लोग के पास भी like wins है in mediocre cars, right?
yeah,
So like obviously I don't want to wait 15 years.
true.
I think कोई लोग का होता है कि even though they are really good, sometimes वो कुछ तो एक पनौती रहता है लाइफ में जो नहीं होता है.
Podiumless career. But that was until Silverstone, one of the most ass-clenching races I've witnessed in 2025. Because in the weekend, Max Verstappen started it by complaining about his Red Bull 24/7.
It's unbelievable. It's not the feedback. A shopping trolley.
But then in qualifying, he locks in and gets pole out of nowhere.
But Max Verstappen will not give up on this one.
Oh my god. Ref, he's using his childhood trauma as motivation. I bet you 20 solid buckaroos that Max Verstappen could complain about having erectile dysfunction and get Kelly pregnant with 10 plus the next day. Also, Ferrari nearly had Lewis out in Q1, typical, and Charles Leclerc had a massive meltdown after Q3.
So fucking sick I am. I am so fucking sick.
Damn, must be the shit. I guess Alex crash out. But off to the race, it was carnage. The weather was torture and cars were everywhere. Lawson gets kissed, DNF. Bortoletto went off, DNF. And Max was sliding like he was lubed up. So Oscar took the lead. Lando and Max battled like ex-husbands while Charles went lawnmower. And everyone was pretty much fucking blind.
We're usually that bad in any game, so I'll play through.
So into lap 18, the rookies were practically dead, and as the safety car was wrapping, Max Verstappen spins on the restart, dropping to 9th. At that point, I just knew Toto Wolff was celebrating like he was getting married all over again. But after Max slipped, you'll notice that Lance Stroll was in P3 now. Can't say I was surprised though, since Lance does turn into Senna as soon as a drop of water. I realized Nico Hulkenberg was P4 in his green jelly bean, and he did that by making all the right strategy calls himself. You see, instead of being a fart smeller, Nico was a smart fella. He listened to his intuition instead of his engineers and made banger calls left and right.
Can you will box this up? Nico box for medium.
No, you sure? No. I will put up. Stay up.
20 minutes later.
Process now.
No. Oh, God, this is Pfizer. Box. I'll go in the box.
Which put him right behind Lance, and all I had in my mind was just chill. And boy, did my wish come true. As Lance expectedly ran out of talent, Gothenburg overtakes him for 3rd. This man went 19th to P3 in a green wheelbarrow, cucumber, sour pickle, rolling pin, farm equipment, whatever you want to call it. He dragged that thing to the top. But still, after that, Lewis Hamilton was sniffing. However, Nico pulled lap times right out of his ass and gapped the fuck out of it. And as the track gets drier, everyone's switching to dries. Lewis goes off, losing time, while Nico Gothenburg went out of the pits problem-free. Then he proceeds to gap Hamilton again, and finally, after years and years of waiting, 239 races, so much pain, hard work and perseverance, Nico Hulkenberg crosses the line.
And finally, he gets to stand on the podium! A podium for the first time! His record that he didn't want can be wiped clean, and at Sauber they can celebrate!
Incredible, man. Enjoy it. You did an absolutely fantastic job. I can't believe that.
Top 10 most स्पोर्ट्स का मोस्ट होलसम मोमेंट्स में आने वाले.
आई नो. और देखो पता है, मैं इतने टाइम से हल्कनबर्ग का एक पोडियम के लिए कर रहा था, बट आई वाज काइंड ऑफ होपिंग कि उसको लाइक 3rd या 2nd नहीं है, मतलब आ रहा तो सीधा रेस विन हो जाए. आई वाज काइंड ऑफ होपिंग फॉर दैट. मैक्लारेन कुड हैव डन समथिंग अबाउट इट, बट एनीवेज
उनका अपना ही चल रहा था. प्रॉब्लम्स.
इसीलिए इतना गैप बना देने का चैंपियनशिप में कि लाइक यू नो लाइक जैसे लास्ट ईयर मैक्स इतना गैप बना दिया था लाइक कि हाँ लैंडो ले चल ले रेस विन तेरा, ठीक है.
Holy shit, was that race a banger. Now, it was kind of disappointing, though, to see Oscar and Lando not shower Gothenburg in champagne. If I was there, I would start drowning him. Heck, if Nico wanted other fluids spiced onto him, I'd gladly do that, too. Also, when the trophies were given out, he received a Lego trophy.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Which is dope, but a real trophy would have been nice. But Nico played it off like the gentleman that he is.
How does it feel after 15 years of F1 to get a podium that's made up of Lego that you can just pull apart?
I love Lego. It's good. My daughter can play with it too.
Like, he is always looking at the bright side. Goat behavior. And after the podium, I saw like 50 different Instagram posts about it, and to be honest, my grin still hasn't faded. Honestly, I can't name one person who wouldn't be happy for Nico. And those who aren't, oh, I'm so sad. I don't know how to defend myself. It's funny how in the same weekend we got Christian Horner sacking, and I'm pretty sure Toto's already preparing his honeymoon with Max, but it's like Hulkenberg's podium opened up Pandora's box.
Oh, what was I worried about?
But in conclusion, Nico Hulkenberg, after years of suffering, mistakes, and regrets, still decides to push through it all to finally get the podium he deserves, making the Hulk not only one of the most determined drivers, but also a racer with the greatest redemption arc in Formula One. And that's why I think there will never be another Nico Hulkenberg.
for both Nico and Rick, as always. Banger.
Yeah. देखो like हल्कनबर्ग को कोई कंसिडर ही नहीं कर रहा था, कोई भी टीम आफ्टर ही गॉट ड्रॉप्ड आउट.
Okay.
24 में जस्ट बिकॉज मिक शूमाकर इतना स्क्रू अप कर रहा था कि हैस वाज लाइक यू नो व्हाट, इनफ ऑफ दीज रुकीज. एक एक्सपीरियंस ड्राइवर लेके आता था तो जो हम लोग को एक्सपेंसेस ऐड ना करे. एंड और कुछ एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे कि उसको कि ठीक चला लेगा करके. एंड गुंतर स्टाइनर गॉट हिम ऑन बोर्ड. And
the only good thing that Gunther Steiner has ever done.
Crazy man, like I never thought like आएगा, but like here we are.
Yeah, एकदम I think वही है कि इतना पोएट्री इन मोशन था कि जिस टाइम F1 मूवी रिलीज हुआ उसके बाद ये पोडियम हुआ, and it feels like a proper same timeline जो उसका है kind of.
Safe to say निको आई थिंक ये वो पूरा मंथ कभी बोल लेने वाला है.
No. Hopefully this is not his last podium.
Yeah. So yeah, अगर आप लोग को
सब्सक्राइब करो
प्लीज.
लास्ट टाइम धमकी दिया था, अभी रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे कुछ तो काम आना चाहिए. ऐसा जिद्दी लोग है तुम लोग.
Yes, thanks for watching guys. Thank you brothers.
Take care sisters. Bye.